Welcome once again to News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mpango Mugalu Mohammed is already with us on set. He will be appearing in a short while there, of course, and he's joining us on sign language. Let's head first into our headlines and then we delve into the bulletin. In our top stories, government pledges to support innovators as World Intellectual Property Day is marked. Now, PAC visits to Lubowa Specialized Hospital site have been postponed. 3 feared dead as Rivumbaya in Chebando Sub-County, Kibale District, busts its banks. And in sports, cricket cranes in Sri Lanka. Thank you once again for joining us. Now, Ugandans are actively engaged in diverse economic activities, generating patents, industrial designs and much more. However, according to Uganda's Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, a majority of innovators underestimate the power of intellectual property. This was during the World Intellectual Property Day celebrations held at Uganda Registrations Services Bureau headquarters in Kololo.
The Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has pledged government commitment towards supporting innovators and creating sustainable technologies. Nabanja made the commitment at the World Intellectual Property Day celebrations held at the Uganda Registration Services Bureau headquarters in Kololo.
As we research, as we develop into a topic that bridges innovation, creativity, and a global progress.
Norbert Mao, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, underscored the importance of intellectual property in shaping Uganda's collective destiny.
If you came with a briefcase full of money to invest in Uganda, this is where you come, and in less than 24 hours, your business will be registered. And also you will get a bank account. You will also get an investment license. Also, in case you are attracted to a gentleman or a lady who is a Ugandan, you may also decide to get married right here.
These remarks were re-echoed by the UNDP country representative and the board chairman, Uganda Registration Services Bureau.
These colonies would come here, extract those medicinal medicine and go and patent them. And you here in Uganda, you don't get anything. So that's why we are promoting vigorously.
Innovation and human ingenuity are key to the attainment of the SDGs. By promoting innovation, technology transfer, and knowledge sharing, IP rights contribute significantly to addressing the world's pressing challenges.
This year's World Intellectual Property Day celebrations are on the theme Intellectual Property and Sustainable Development Goals, Building Our Common Future with Innovation and Creativity. According to the Registrar General, URSB Masika Inobuisho, registration of an innovation remains conclusive evidence of ownership.
Without that certificate, you cannot transact. Without that certificate, you cannot go to the bank to get a loan. Without that certificate, you cannot license your intellectual property, because intellectual property is also about not only ownership but also licensing, because you can own your intellectual property but give a license and share your idea with a certain company that would like to benefit from your product or your service.
Intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, symbols, names and images used in commerce. Dennis Ikoa for UBC News.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Taiwo has challenged youth to embrace responsible living and desist from reckless lifestyles. Taiwo tells the youth to seize opportunities in the aviation industry, which they say is starving from human infrastructure.
Protea Hotel was the place to be in Kampala on Friday morning. 71 youth from Uganda Aviation Academy were declared ripe for the aviation industry market.
You have embraced challenges with courage, embraced knowledge, and setbacks as opportunities for growth. Obviously, nothing comes without setbacks, but it's still part of the journey, guys.
Stakeholders in the aviation industry were present to witness this milestone. The Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Airlines, Jennifer Vamturachi, saw this as the beginning of a professional aviation journey.
And we are looking for people with the skill, with the knowledge, with the grooming that we would like to start an airline. And I'm pleased to see that you have all these courses, and as an academy, we're able to work closely with you to have the right skill set in the airline, because that's a challenge for us.
This optimism is in agreement with that of Deputy Director General, Civil Aviation Authority, Olive Rumonya. She wants these youth to remain focused.
Don't focus on only one that you have studied. The opportunities are there. It's how you think, believe, and focus on where you need to go.
To succeed in all these, it will take living responsible lifestyles. This is the message that Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwo, carried for these young people.
Most of you young ladies, you look beautiful. And we love beautiful people. Kindly be cautious. Your job is tempting. You have every kind of billionaires. You have every kind of crazy people. But their aim is to use you. None of them is aiming at building you. We can buy you good iPhones. We'll buy you good jewelry, but we shall destroy your future. I beg you to be focused.
Before the national resistance movement came in, there was only one aviation academy in this country. Kenya had 37. But as we talk now, Uganda is catching up. And this aviation academy, if you went even to Nairobi Wilson or anywhere in Kenya, our standards are much higher than Kenya.
At the end of the day, it was an achievement worth celebrating.
I've already been called for interviews in Uganda Arab Emirates, and I'll be traveling next week. So hoping for the best. I'm hoping to work with Uganda Airlines. And I pray that the certificate and knowledge that I've got from Uganda Aviation Academy helps me excel and get the best of the best.
It means our standards are of the highest level. The standards we have set are what British Airways does. The standards we have set is what Lufthansa does. The standards we have set is what Singapore does.
As they are released into the market, all they need to excel is responsibility, commitment, innovation, teamwork, customer satisfaction and integrity. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, Parliament's Public Accounts Committee's planned oversight visit to Luo's Specialized Hospital project site remains uncertain following the Speaker of Parliament, Annetta Mong's kind request to the committee to defer their visit, which was to take place Friday, 26 April. The Speaker's request followed yet another letter from the Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Diana Atwine requesting for more time. Now, during a press conference to update the media on this visit, the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Mohammed Mwanga Chivumbi, said Dr. Atwini cited the big number of the committee members who require protective wear like gumboots, reflector jackets and plastic head gears, whose procurement allegedly takes some time.
The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament is to call back officials from Ministry of Health on Monday next week to answer queries in the Auditor General's report after their efforts for an oversight visit to Lubowa Specialized Hospital site failed to mature. The committee made a decision to visit the site during a sitting where they requested the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Atwini, to organize a visit for them to the site to assess the works as per the query in the Auditor General's report 2022-2023. This was sparked off by the project engineer issuing a certificate of milestone completion of the project, where the Auditor General discovered an overpayment of 286 billion shillings.
He said in the committee that he issued them in a full knowledge that work equivalent was undisputed, the report of the Auditor General, as a false report.
Accordingly, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Atwini, acted fast and wrote to the managers of the project, who replied and requested to extend the visit to a later date of 22nd April 2024. However, this was not to be, and the visit that was meant to happen on 26th April has been deferred to another date.
Clerk to Parliament, oversight visit to Lubowa Hospital by the Public Accounts Committee. Accompanying this visit comprises of over 50 members of Parliament and staff, including members of the press. Given the substantial size of the delegation, the developer has expressed the need for additional time to procure the necessary the necessary personal protective equipment, PPE, to ensure the safety of all the visitors during the visit. Consequently, an alternative date for the visit will be communicated. This letter was to the clerk. The clerk referred it to the speaker, okay? And the speaker wrote a comment on it. Kindly defer the visit to Lubowa.
The chairperson of the committee, Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi, says they will continue with the queries of the Auditor General's report on Ministry of Health and make their report.
To be deterred by these actions, by these tasks of delay, I'm yet going to communicate another date for and on behalf of Parliament, and as delegated by the Speaker and by the whole House. We will refer this matter back to them and we will take action. But before that, on Monday, I think with the ministry, we will decisively deal with them and we will conclude. That's our take, and the only thing that will remain will be an oversight visit. On our side, we will do our processes and make our conclusions on the audit report of Lubowa.
I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugema in Kampala.
Now, a little bit of a sad story. 3 people are feared dead and many others injured after River Mbaya in Chebando Sub-County, Kibale District bursts its banks, washing away several homes and property. Let's hear more in this report.
3 people are feared dead and many others injured after River Mbaya in Chebando Sub-County, Kibale District burst its banks Friday morning. The heavy downpour that led to the overflow of the river also washed away property and cut off roads linking Chisalizi to Chebando and Kasimbi Sub-County in Kibale District.
Omusajja wange mwegesa ayegesa kiengabi amaizi gamukwatireyo takyasobola kukoraki kugaruka kuchwanganiza kukyora kuno.
The incident left 3 people missing, some injured and others displaced.
naza kurora jambo yananka amezi gamutwara na piti yagwanisa kwayo piti.
Chibale Resident District Commissioner Godwin Kasigwa says the district has already deployed a rescue team near River Mbaya to search for the missing bodies and to also curb further incidents. He says the overflow of River Mbaya has been caused due to encroachment on the buffer zones and the wetlands.
Now, one of the causes of Mbaya burst, people have encroached all the wetland wedges and buffer zones. The home of water has been encroached. Water has no space where it can keep itself. Let's leave the edges of all wetlands, of all swamps.
Chibale District LC5 chairperson Godfrey Mwonge also retaliated that people have over-encroached on the wetlands around this area, which has resulted into such disaster.
We are looking at Mbaya swamp today. It is part of the swamp is encroached. As we talk right now, it is no longer, the road is unpassable. And our prayer is the communities, we no longer utilize this route. For the case of people coming from Chibale, going to Pachwa, the alternative route is Chibale, Mugarama route, as you pass via Imara to Kasimbi.
At least 7 survivors were rescued by well-wishers and rushed to Chebando Health Center 3. Some of the survivors include Janat Wimana, William Chomia, and Bosco Mujuni. River Mbaya connects with River Nkusi in Bunyoro sub-region, western Uganda, from the hills of Kakumiro. The river initially burst its banks in 2018 following a heavy downpour.
Now, relatedly, but in Bulambuli, landslides over 4 sub-counties in Bulambuli district have been affected by the floods following heavy rains that washed away homes and destroyed properties. According to the locals, the 3 days downpour also cut off some roads, crippling movement around the 4 sub-counties.
Rains that hit Bulambuli district have washed away homes, cut off roads and destroyed property.
It is now impossible. There is other children who are schooling Bulago Senior Secondary School. They are now not passing.
Nothing can cross here, like a motorcycle or a vehicle.
Over 4 sub-counties in Bulambuli district have been affected by the floods, leaving residents in fear. The sub-counties include Bulago, Bujinyanya, among others.
Don't have food to eat. So many things have gone away, more especially our crops which we grew, like tomatoes and bananas and cabbages.
Yakubye nnyo yasitudde mwanyi ebyuni byaffe kugyako byambako abaana baffe ne kabiji n'obutungulu bwonna enkuba yabutuute kati tetulina engeri gye kufunamu emmere.
Some roads were covered by heavy stones that rolled off the hills, crippling transport. Residents have called for support from relevant authorities.
All crops have been washed away by rainfall. Therefore, we request the government to look into the other ways to help these people.
The district councillor for Bujinyanya, Milton Wetaka, says the affected people were assessed and vetted for relocation, but the program has been long overdue.
Some people got yellow cards, which were vetted, but up to now they have never been transferred.
The area MP, Wamukuyu Mudimi, is in fear and asks government to intervene immediately.
So my appeal is, let the government through office of the Prime Minister come and assess these people. Then they compensate them and we see if this will happen again. The government to expedite and give them. They will go to safe areas and you've seen here, people can't stay here now.
This is not the first time landslides hit Bulambuli district, causing untold calamity.
If the newly developed infrastructure is anything to go by, Kitgum Municipality could become the next city after Gulu in Acholi sub-region in northern Uganda. Again, let us visit our Usmed Gulu cluster.
For the last 5 years, Kitgum municipality has known mainly two words: progress and development. Business is booming, traders are not complaining, and merchandise is sellable. This is attributed to infrastructure development initiatives that have seen roads successfully upgraded.
The roads have helped us a lot, mostly with my business. There is no dust. There is no, anyway, even I am open now to customers. They just pass and buy without dust.
The scheme behind these developments is what is known countrywide as the Uganda Support to Municipal Infrastructure Development, USMID. Here in Kitgum, it has been held into segments, including the ongoing additional funding phase.
From 2018 to 2023, I want to say we have been having two phases of implementation of USMID in the municipality. The first phase was done by China Railway 18th Group, where we constructed roads in quarters and in the CBD. Additionally, we constructed 2.1 kilometers of roads from Christ the King, a Catholic church, up to a place called Malakal Hotel.
Since its inception, development and progress have been evident.
Before this program came, Kitgum was relatively, I would say, to be precise, it was a semi-developed town. The only tarmac we had in the municipality was erected some years back during the program of Northern Uganda Reconstruction Plan.
The setting up of pedestrian walkways has reduced road accidents, while installation of street lights has reduced theft. Vendors, road users and business operators positively attest to guaranteed security.
Business, I've stayed with it for long. I had a house of toys and jewelry somewhere there, but I closed because by the roadside I get more customers. And it has helped me a lot. I've built my own house.
We have really rapid changes and development and the growth. When the development is there, definitely the people are growing. So I want to thank the government of Uganda really to give us the development which you are seeing right now.
The roads that they have constructed, they have helped us in very many ways. First of all, they have helped us to be organized in that the vehicles and the motorcycles are parked on one side. Yeah, it used to disorganize a bit and could cause a lot of accidents due to double parking.
Kitgum municipality could be a city in the making if all factors remain both constant and progressive.
These roads are facilities. We have the highland, which is accommodating the street lights. We have the cyclist lanes, which are for cyclists, whether they are border people or motorcycles or bicycles. Then we have the 1 meter, which is for the drainage. Then the last lane on the extreme left and extreme right is the pedestrians walkway.
Kitgum is on the path to catch up with other urban centers that have equally benefited from the USMID. Gulu and Arua are former municipalities that became cities after implementing the project.
With the street lights, with the drainage systems, which has really beautified the city, and it has made the city very attractive to visitors and everybody.
We are already dealing with the wrongdoers, particularly thieves. We have our security who is doing operations day and night to ensure that these street lights are not vandalized.
So people feel they should leave their villages, they should leave their district and live in Arua city. So it has brought a lot of visitors across the region, and beyond West Nile.
President was very clear that people should use the roadside to do business. And this thing has actually brought a lot of businesses. People who are selling small-scale businesses like selling groundnuts, avocado, and so on.
Equally in Gulu City, several roads have been worked on, including Nelson Mandela and Lasto Okech roads.
And we need it so much because Gulu City as now, it has expanded. So these good roads, Smith roads, are just only in the center of the city. But in the periphery, we need good roads.
These are the developments that leaders and locals in Kitgum, Gulu and Arua continuously want to see from government.
But I think the biggest benefit that is always understated is the capacity building that the project has enabled the city to have. And the local government workers now have the capacity to handle complex projects.
At the right time, as a right intervention for growth and development of the people in Gulu City, the communities around. We appreciate it so much and we thank the government. And above all, we thank the people of Gulu City that they chose road infrastructure for implementation.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development continues to implement the USMID projects. Upon successful bidding by government, the next phase is expected to commence after June 2024. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The government of Uganda has recommitted itself to setting up an enabling atmosphere for art and culture industry in Uganda, whose positive impact to the economy has been felt over the years.
Uganda has joined the rest of the world to commemorate this year's World Creativity and Innovation Day. The day's activities attracted different creative actors, innovators, and entrepreneurs. In Uganda, this year's celebrations have been facilitated by the United Nations Development Programme, whose core commitment is aligned to supporting the art and culture industry of the country.
You have to find, how do you adapt in the space that you find yourself? In the African space, how do you adapt for creativity and innovation? Without thinking you have the kind of system that is possible in Europe or America. We don't have those platforms and we have to live with it that we don't have them. Kudos to people who are building them, and it will come. It will come. But right now it's not there. So what does it mean? Do we say bye-bye and just hands up? No.
The event was graced by Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Balambe Rugahara Atenyi.
If you could also put energy in those communities where it was grown most, Busoga, Bunyoro and others, to reinvent that crop, and then we set up a factory. You know, the cost of investment in Uganda is high because of the capital.
On behalf of Uganda government, Minister Byarugahara reaffirmed government's commitment to support the art and culture industry.
Initiatives such as the Economic Stimulus Package, Youth Livelihood Program, Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, establishment of innovation hubs like what he has, the Myoga, the Parish Development Model, exemplify our dedication as government to nurturing the potential of our youth and women, but it is not enough. It is not enough. So you can supplement, I mentioned it earlier, on General Museveni's skilling centers he has. There are about 18 in each sub-region, but those skilling centers, people are skilled, they leave the skilling centers without equipment.
Emphasis was put on innovators and creators need to rearrangement their mode of operations in order to reap from their trade.
For us to realize that the best is yet to come, and that best is going to come from us.
Lydia Chomkama and Robert Onyango,
UBC News.
Now, Uganda Railways Corporation has unveiled plans of resuming passenger transport, which had stalled for almost a year as they renovated the rail and train stages. While unveiling the plan in Kampala, the Executive Director, Uganda Railways Corporation, Musoke David Bulega, cautioned members of the public against littering the railway line to allow smooth and effective transportation.
Railway or passenger train transport had stalled for a period of 1 year. To allow renovation of the railway line, Uganda Railway Corporation has revealed plans of resuming work of transporting people starting May 2nd this year.
Rehabilitating the Kampala Mukono section, and as of now we have accomplished that section of Kampala Namave, and we believe now we are ready to start our passenger train. It hasn't been an easy task because it involved removing the old steel railway materials, and we have completely replaced them with new ones, and this time around we have used concrete sleepers to ensure that the line is stable. Open up that passenger service on 2nd May 2024.
The locomotives that had spent some good time without getting on the new railway line has been taken on a rail test. The Executive Director URC has urged people to desist from littering the railway line.
As in the railway corridor, garbage and rubbish dumping in the channels, all these have been a setback in the progress, but all the same we have accomplished it.
He has also explained on how the train will operate and the designated passenger stages.
With 2 runs or trips in the morning and 2 in the evening. Our main focus and target are the working class and students. That's why our first train will be running from Namave at 6:45 in the morning, and we expect the second run from Namave again at 7:45 a.m. We believe that at least that journey can cover or take around 20 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. We have 4 stopping points or halts. One is at Moobs, Okataza area. The second one is at Interfreight.
The renovation works have cost government 19 million euros, and this time round, each passenger is to pay 2,000 Ugandan shillings for a single trip. Rebecca Nantongo, Mike Wakabulindi, UBC News.
Officials from Ministry of Works and Transport Friday met and held discussions with some commercial drivers with the aim of addressing persistent discrepancies in the transport sector. Key among issues addressed was resolution that it's no longer compulsory for a driver with a lapsed license to retrain to acquire another license as long as one can pass test driving by the inspector of vehicles.
In 2020, government through Parliament amended the Traffic and Road Safety Act with the aim of harmonizing operations in the transport sector. As provided by the law, the Line Ministry, in partnership with the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety, has been overseeing enforcement and ensuring that stakeholders, mainly commercial drivers, comply with the law. This, however, gave birth to unprecedented hiccups, as some of the drivers explain.
As truck drivers, as we know that we have 3 classes. We have the first class, we have the second class, and the third class where we have the poolings. So the person who used to be driving a semi-trailer was not allowed again to drive a semi-trailer, was going back to what we call a katasa, the small trucks. And the one who was driving a pulling truck went back to a semi-trailer.
Abadriver balina obumanyirivu babadde bavudde mu mulimu olw'okuba pamiti bajjako basala kirasi. Tubadde tufunye buno bazzukulu baffe kati nga be bavuga baasi era mulaba leeti y'obubenje oba omuwendo gw'obubenje gubadde gweyongedde mu baasi.
Accordingly, on Friday, the Commissioner in charge of Transport Regulation and Safety at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Wilson Katshabe, held a meeting with some of the drivers with the aim of resolving some of these discrepancies.
Saying the drivers renewing lapsed licenses do not require a certificate of completion from a driving school. So, if you are tested by the IOV in this category, you will not be required to come for a driving school unless a driver or an applicant has failed the test and is required to go for refresher training in that driving school.
On the issue of corruption, Katshabe implored drivers and the general public to join in the fight against the vice. The Commissioner further cautioned drivers against remodifying passenger vehicles to carry more people, saying they risk being imprisoned.
A drone is 14 seaters. Somebody goes at first registration omuyara enagamba omanyi njagara emoroka ejo registering nga yabantu 18 nze ngenda kusasura omusoro gwe guti. This information I have.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Works and Transport says all affected drivers, especially those with variations in their data for licenses, should seek redress at designated offices countrywide starting Monday 29th April 2024.
If you fall under this category of discrepancies, please go to UDLS, Wanoku Railway.
Section 35 of the Traffic and Road Safety Act of 2020 states that a person shall not drive any class of motor vehicle, trailer or engineering plant on a road unless he or she is in possession of a copy of a valid driving license or a copy of a valid learner driving license in respect of that motor vehicle. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar! My boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're so tingy. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Welcome to the IFRIS Fact Checker, proudly brought to you by the Uganda Revenue Authority. Is the IFRIS a tax? IFRIS is not a tax. It stands for the Electronic Fiscal Receipting and Invoicing Solution, which is a platform designed to monitor the value-added tax VAT reported to the Uganda Revenue Authority by traders. By using IFRIS, you can eliminate the tedious process of managing records and enjoying the benefits of an efficient and streamlined system. Is IFRIS compulsory in Uganda? Only VAT-registered taxpayers who must issue e-invoices are required to use IFRIS for all transactions, whether exempt or taxable. Does the Uganda Revenue Authority expect me to use IFRIS when I'm not VAT registered? You can enroll for IFRIS voluntarily even if you are not VAT registered. This allows you to enjoy the benefits it offers to businesses. Have taxpayers been supported to use IFRIS? The Uganda Revenue Authority has a taxpayer education and support program that is comprehensive in its scope. The program aims to promote awareness among taxpayers about various strategic initiatives that the URA has implemented. How is the Commission agent, also known as the Omoyiribi, affected and assisted under IFRIS? If a common agent or Omoyiribi is registered for taxes, they are required to keep stock of the goods they sell and issue an electronic invoice. However, if a commission agent is not registered for VAT, they can sell the items as usual and provide a regular receipt. It is important to ensure that the receipt includes all necessary information, such as the business name, date, contact information, tax identification number, description of items, and the amount sold, among other details. What happens when the network or internet is down while using IFRIS? You can issue e-invoices using IFRIS app or desktop software, even in offline mode. However, you must connect to the internet within a week to upload the generated information to the system. What platforms are in place to enable you use IFRIS? The Uganda Revenue Authority has provided alternative channels and technology options that traders may choose from to use IFRIS. These include the IFRIS app on mobile smartphones, the desktop application, the URA web portal, the electronic fiscal device, and the system-to-system connection.
News Tonight continues. The Association of Professional Physical Planners of Uganda has held its inaugural annual general meeting to elect its executive council and president. During the event held at Mestil Hotel in Kampala, members of the incoming council vowed to eliminate unqualified physical planners that undermine the integrity of the profession.
We have had our very first inaugural general meeting where we are going to elect the Executive Council of Physical Planners.
In June 2023, Minister Obiga Kanya commissioned a 9-member interim committee headed by Brian Odella, charged with the task of spearheading structures geared at organizing first annual general meeting and election of the executive committee within 1 year.
This country is urbanizing, and therefore the rate at which it is urbanizing should be the same rate at which government is investing in ensuring that we address urbanization. The only way we can address urbanization is by planning. We have to organize these urban centers where the population is now going. So I am contesting because there is inadequate funding, and I feel it is me to champion and advise the powers that be to ensure that they put money in physical planning.
Professional gaps created by lack of legal framework in the past to regulate the work and registration of physical planners birthed entry of masqueraders into the profession. The association is mandated to restore good working ethics in the industry.
Let's give a test to a plan we have made today and we change it after 10 years at least. Why do we change always? What is propelling all these changes? Then why do these planners fail to guide their local governments? I think these are some of the issues under ethical and professionalism that needs to be addressed, and I am here to offer myself. But also the character, the ethical conduct of physical planners also needs to be checked. I have the experience to talk to my colleagues in the planning fraternity to ensure that the ethical conduct of planners, the professionalism also does the change.
We've had challenges where plans are done, but implementation remains a challenge due to lack of resources, number one, lack of personnel. We have had districts that don't have physical planners. We have had districts that have one physical planner who cannot do everything in the entire district. So the role of this committee that is going to be elected today is to ensure that physical planners are deployed, qualified physical planners. We have had scenarios where quacks are there masquerading as physical planners, yet they are not.
Now, after this AGM, we expect that the leadership of the society is going to come up with a roadmap and be able to explain to the professionals what is going to happen and give us guidance on how we are going to achieve some quick steps. For example, now we have a National Fiscal Development Plan. We need to ensure that all local governments have the fiscal planning staffing done, and I think some of these are the issues that the new leadership has to start working on quickly.
The incoming leaders have put the forward entrenchment of professional ethics in streamlining the fiscal planning sector. The new chairperson, Charles Nampendo, gathered 132 votes against 79 votes of John Batch. Physical planning includes ordering land for organized development, including human settlement, towns and cities, and within the hinterland. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Now, associations of secretaries and administrative professionals has urged Ministry of Public Service to address the grievances among them. Now, during the commemoration of Secretaries Day in Mukono, secretaries underscored their pending needs, including low salaries and lack of promotions.
In 2018,
but how can a secretary
Ministry of Public Service set up a secretarial professional committee to deal with grievances affecting public servants? However, since its inception, secretaries in government organizations decried failed redress of their concerns, especially low salaries and promotions.
The issue of not promoting secretaries, which is common with public service, it demoralizes them, so they become demoralized as they work.
It will be in form of secretaries. We present our issues and then we get to know if someone is at a certain level, what is the particular welfare. But welfare is a big subject, but it comes to a salary.
President of the association, Julius Semaganda, noted that they have engaged Ministry of Public Service on various occasions, but to no avail.
Upon the Ministry of Public Service to make sure that secretaries who have worked for more than 3 years, as it is in the standing orders, they are promoted after subjecting them to interviews.
They are now demanding that all secretaries' remunerations be increased, promotions effected.
My concern to the President and to the Ministry of Public Service, is there any way that they can change our titles?
In the secretarial line, you find the lower cadres at the level of office typists, stenographer and the rest. They are not recognized by many, and you find it is because of that they feel not happy to execute their work well.
During the same event, secretaries were trained on how they should cooperate at their workplaces and improving their services.
And just like I said, that the world is volatile and things are changing. The secretary of the 60s may not meet the challenges of today. So you're trying to say that secretaries and someone who's up to date all the time. And it's way to do that particular thing because you're the ones in the thing.
Secretaries, they become more equipped when it comes to skills, and also want them to match with the changing technology.
Brian Tumwinebiaruhanga, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
And into the world of business, National Forestry Authority, NFA, together with One Acre Fund, has embarked on a campaign to plant 500,000 trees in all districts of Busoga sub-region in order to restore forest cover. While launching the project at Muira Village, Nambale, Sub-County, Iganga District, NFA Manager Choga Region, Michael Kusuro, said they target to restore 24% of the lost green cover by 2030.
The continuous drought in Busoga sub-region is being attributed to the rampant destruction of green cover through deforestation as a result of extensive sugarcane growing and charcoal burning. Now government, through National Forestry Authority and environmentalists under the umbrella organization One Acre Fund, has embarked on a massive tree planting campaign to restore the green cover within a period of 1 year.
We are increasing on the tree cover to fight the effects of the climate change, like the way we have witnessed in the past few weeks where we experienced a very, very high heat wave. And now our farmers planted these trees to combat such or to mitigate such effects. Two, these grevillea trees, when they litter, decompose, they add nutrients to our soils.
The manager, NFA, Choga Region, Michael Kusuro, says forestry cover in the eastern part of the country had drastically declined due to human activity. National Forestry Authority has embarked on a drive to restore the lost green cover in the country to about 24% by 2030 to combat climate change.
Of National Forestry Authority, we have now reached 14%, so there is a serious increment in terms of forest cover, and we expect by 2030 we should be at 24% where we used to be before. So why we have achieved this? It is through massive tree planting.
Through this project, each farmer received 30 tree seedlings. Plant.
One acre fund.
Type of rainfall which we receive, and this rainfall helps us to grow crops. To get firewood, to get timber, which timber I will sell, or I will sell and get money.
I'm Nafka Farida, reporting.
Now, still in business, Graka Michael Trust, through a gender-inclusive investment program, Afrishela hosted an investor showcase in Kampala where Ugandan women entrepreneurs presented their businesses to potential investors in order to attract support from potential funders.
Networking and sharing business ideas was the order of the day as women entrepreneurs took part in a meeting that was organized by Graka Michael Trust.
Our investment strategy and approach is around, women-owned businesses primarily. But we also operate at the intersection of gender and climate, so we are keen to finance or connect women to funding that are not just women-owned, women-led businesses, but also women that are, making headway in terms of being at the forefront of climate actions.
The investment strategy aims at empowering women that own businesses and connecting them to reliable financing. This initiative targets women in all sectors, not forgetting sourcing employment opportunities for them.
Just supporting them to, be very clear about the market that their products are targeting, and also opportunities for scale. Where are the opportunities of scale? Is it new lines? Is it new product lines? Is it just going into new geographical spaces? Is it expanding regionally? Or is it leveraging technology so that they move their products to a wider market base?
The Managing Director, Raw and Organic Investments Limited, Natukunda Inid Mugisha, believes such undertakings can have a big impact in enabling businesses to flourish by learning how to adapt through hardships.
These are things that come up, and then the partnerships they bring across, because as we study, we interact with the almost entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs in Africa. And so these are different people. You network, you partner, and you get more clients and you get more exposure.
Richard Zulu, the team principal at Outbox, who are one of the financiers, revealed that as much as women seek for support in their businesses, there is also need to identify whether women-led businesses can demonstrate business resilience to attract growth and expansion once support avails itself.
For us, when we look at some of these businesses, and they are businesses that have been able to receive some financing before and use it well, for us that's a good indicator that this business is now addressing or removing those biases that financiers might have. And if we put a bit more money into them, we can help them actually raise more money.
Graka Marshall Trust is a Pan-African organization that champions the rights of women through advocacy, enterprise development, as well as providing room for funding for women entrepreneurs. Joram Paul Sonko for UBC News.
Stepping into the world of sports, the Cricket Cranes Uganda's men senior cricket team is in Sri Lanka for their last training camp ahead of their maiden appearance at the ICC T20 Men's World Cup in June this year.
The Cricket Cranes will have a 15-day tour of intense training in Sri Lanka with 6 T20 test matches against Sri Lanka A, Sri Lanka Army and Sri Lanka Police as they finalize their preparation for the 2024 ICC T20 Men's World Cup. The camp will run from the 27th to the 11th of May 2024.
This is a final stretch for us, probably the last bit of cricket we might get before the World Cup. So it's very important for us to make sure everything is in gear, to make sure all our boxes are ticked. So, it's a very important tour for us. We'll try and make sure everyone gets what they need, what they feel they need, and make sure everybody's in a good place, a good headspace. We expect tough cricket. We're getting 3 games from Sri Lanka A, so we know they like to come and play hard. They're good players. And that's exactly what we would want as preparation for the World Cup. We're excited to go out there and play on the biggest stage. As a team, we worked hard to get here, so we're very excited to go out there and just show what Ugandan cricket is about.
At the moment, of course, we have selected a squad of 20 that we are looking at in preparations for the World Cup, and out of the 20, we're taking 16 to Sri Lanka, and all I can say is. The team is around the 20 players that we have selected. The World Cup team is not yet out, but at least you have a clue that out of the 20 that we picked in the squad, we are going to pick the 16 from there. We try to play to a standard that we are going to play at the World Cup. Even in our training sessions, we want to train like the way we play, and you can see the intensity is high up there. And we want to go and bring it on in the games coming ahead of us. But for now, we want to play high intensity cricket. The T20 cricket has changed a lot where teams are scoring many runs, and that's aggression is what we want to take into, we want to bring into this team, and that's what we've been working on going into the World Cup.
The team is led by the newly appointed head coach, Abe Sharma, who is keen on helping the boys polish up their skills ahead of the big stage. The Cricket Cranes will take on Afghanistan, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea and hosts West Indies in Group C at their inaugural appearance at the ICC T20 Men's World Cup in June this year. The team qualified for the World Cup last year after finishing second out of 7 in the Africa T20 Men's World Cup qualifiers in Namibia. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
And lastly, Uganda's secondary schools football tournament 2024 began Friday 26 April in Masaka. The football draw was conducted at the main offices in Old Kampala ahead of the tournament. Now, the boys category contains 16 groups of 4 teams and the girls category contains 8 groups of 6 teams. The boys record winners St. Mary's Kitende, who are the 11-time champions, began defense of their title in Group A against Mbali Progressive, then Ngora High School and Kisozi Seed School. In the girls category, defending champions Amus College School have been placed in Group A alongside Kayindu SS, Akaba SS, St. Maliko, Hope SS, Bira and Nkoma SS. And these record winners, Kawempe Muslim, are in Group D with Bishop Komboni, Moyo Stel, St. Mary's, Magdalene, and hosts Ndeje SS.
We have 64 boys teams and 48 girls teams that will participate in this year's secondary schools football tournament. We have done our best to ensure that the children are the right age for participation. The youngest age is 12 years old. We have had issues from secondary schools in the past who field players over the ages of 18, some age 25, and are taken back to school and registered as part of the school for the sake of participation. We have ensured that it doesn't happen again and the games have the right standard for participants.
And as we sign out, let's quickly have that recap on our headlines. Again, in our top stories, government pledges to support innovators as World Intellectual Property Day is marked. Park's visit to Lubowa's specialized hospital site has been postponed. 3 feared dead as River Mbaya in Chebanda Sub, County Kibale District busts its banks. And in sports, cricket cranes in Sri Lanka. Again, we appreciate your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mugalu Mohammed has been with us on sign language. Always our pleasure. It's a good night, but UBC programming continues.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Joko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and in the